All right, we're about to go on a wild ride through the last 70 years of artificial intelligence. You're going to see how dreams from ancient myths turned into the machine learning models we have today, and how a revolution that's been simmering for decades is suddenly, well, it's changing absolutely everything. So let me ask you something. Does it feel like AI just kind of popped into existence a couple of years ago? Like someone just flipped a switch? Well, the real story didn't start with a smartphone app. Nope. It started way, way back. You know, our fascination with creating artificial life, it's not new at all. It's ancient. It's a story we've been telling ourselves for centuries. Whether it's the giant bronze robot Talos in Greek myths or the golems made of clay in old legends, this idea is practically baked into our DNA. So how did we get from those myths and legends to, actual science? Well, that part of the story kicks off right in the middle of the 20th century. This is it. This is the starting gun. The year is 1956. A handful of scientists get together and officially give this new field a name, artificial intelligence. And their mission statement? Whoa. It was so ambitious. They literally proposed that every single part of what makes us intelligent could be broken down and fed into a machine. And you know what's crazy? For a while, it actually seemed like they were going to pull it off, like almost immediately. This kicked off a golden age, a period of just unbelievable, mind-blowing progress. The first results were just astonishing. I mean, you have to imagine it. You're seeing a computer, a big, clunky machine, solve algebra problems all by itself. It's proving geometry theorems. It's even learning to chat in basic English. For people back then, it must have felt like science fiction was literally coming true right before their eyes. And this quote right here from one of AI's founding fathers, Marvin Minsky, it just perfectly captures that incredible optimism. Within a generation, he said, they really truly believed they were just a few years away from solving intelligence itself. But, as you're about to see, reality was about to hit them like a ton of bricks. So yeah, that incredible boom was followed by a massive bust. All that hype and excitement ran headfirst into a wall of problems nobody saw coming, and it triggered what we now call the first AI winter. So it turns out there was a huge catch. All those amazing early successes, they were happening in these super simple, controlled environments, these little micro-worlds. But the real world, well, it isn't a clean math problem, is it? It's messy, it's complicated, and it's just infinitely harder to deal with. Progress basically slammed to a halt for three big reasons. First, the computers themselves were just way too weak. We're talking millions of times too weak. Second, problems got complex so fast it created this combinatorial explosion of possibilities that no machine could handle. And maybe the biggest one of all, the common sense problem. I mean, how do you teach a computer that, water is wet, or that you can't push on a rope? The simple answer was, you couldn't. And just like that, the funding dried up, and AI research went into a deep, deep freeze. But here's the interesting part. Even during that cold, dark winter, the seeds for a huge comeback were being planted. Away from the spotlight, a quiet revolution was slowly taking shape. So even without all the hype, things were happening. Thanks to Moore's law, computers were getting faster and faster, just relentlessly doubling in power. New ideas were bubbling up, like backpropagation, which gave new life to brain-inspired neural networks. And then came the proof. 1997. IBM's Deep Blue, a monster of pure processing power, beats the world chess champion Garry Kasparov. That was the moment. The hardware was finally starting to catch up to the dream. And that quiet behind-the-scenes revolution, well, it set the stage perfectly for the absolute explosion of AI that we are all living through right now. Today's AI boom is basically a recipe with three essential ingredients. First, you've got big data. The internet gave us these enormous data sets for AIs to learn from. Second, powerful hardware. We're talking specialized computer chips, GPUs, that gave us the raw muscle. And third, the secret sauce, new deep learning breakthroughs, especially the game-changing transformer model from 2017. That was the key that unlocked everything. And the result of mixing those three things together? Absolute insanity. When ChatGPT launched, it hit 100 million users in just 2 months. Nothing in history has ever grown that fast. Suddenly, this incredible power was in everyone's hands, and the entire world finally woke up to the AI revolution. And you know what happens when something gets that much attention, right? The money follows. And I mean a lot of money. Just look at this jump in investment from 18 billion in 2014 to almost 120 billion by 2021. And by 2023, generative AI alone was gobbling up nearly a third of all AI investment. This isn't just a tech trend, it's a modern-day gold rush. Which brings us to today, right now. After 70 years of these crazy booms and busts and breakthroughs, we are facing some of the biggest, most profound questions in the history of this technology. This warning, this is serious. It was signed by thousands of the world's top AI researchers, scientists, and tech executives, the very people building this stuff. They're saying these systems are getting so powerful, so fast, that maybe we should all just take a breath and ask if we're really ready for what comes next. So, from ancient myths to AI models that can write poetry and code, it's been a heck of a journey. But the most important chapter, the one that will define what this all means for us, for a civilization, that chapter is the one we are all about to write together. The story of AI isn't finished. And what comes next? Well, that's up to us.